In the 10th and 11th modules, we deal more explicitly with the links between crime and race. Michelle Alexander's 2012 book, The New Jim Crow, is perhaps the most important book on race and crime of this generation. In it, she outlines her case that the current system of mass incarceration in the United States is the third system of racial rule in U.S. history, following plantation slavery and Jim Crow segregation. In Module 10, we'll focus on her overview of the 3 steps in the system of mass incarceration that leads to its racist impacts. In Module 11, we look at some of her main arguments supporting her claims about racist subordination in the United States. Given that the Canadian government is turning to a more U.S.-style approach to incarceration and the rates of racialized people and Indigenous peoples in prison and jail continue to rise in Canada, her argument is particularly important to understand at this juncture in Canadian history. Here are some key points in her argument for this week. Number 1, Alexander argues that the criminal justice system, like all other public programs, is presented as one based on equality. Everyone is equal in the face of the law. Yet, she demonstrates how the law actually works to target racialized people, and particularly African Americans in the United States, through a variety of mechanisms she describes in quite some detail. Her argument is not so much about individual white racists out to harm black people, but about a system steeped in centuries of racist rule. Howard Saper's research on Canadian corrections points to similar conclusions. Both of them suggest that the more the criminal justice system relies on mandatory sentencing and tougher sentences on minor crimes, such as drug crimes, the more racialized people are disproportionately imprisoned. Alexander relies on research that suggests that white people use and deal drugs at a slightly higher rate than black people, who are in turn punished at a hugely disproportionate rate. To understand this phenomenon, she thinks we need to think of the criminal justice system as doing its job rather well, warehousing and disenfranchising poor black people. I'd like you to consider how images and texts about African American men are represented in popular culture during these 2 modules. Thank you.